Hi, ArcFieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, January the 22nd. Widespread Arctic air continues to remain in place across most of the nation, virtually coast to coast this morning. We have single-digit temperatures in the I-95 corridor region of the Mid-Atlantic region, and amazingly, single-digit temperatures this morning way down in the southern part of Louisiana following yesterday's snowstorm. That winter storm across the southern states produced snow and extreme cold all the way from Texas to Florida, now into the Carolina coastline, and about 4 inches of snow fell on Houston. That was their biggest snow event ever, and about 10 inches in New Orleans. That tied their biggest snowstorm ever. The biggest snowstorm in Houston was February of 1895, when unbelievably 20 inches of snow fell, and that also produced about 10 inches of snow in New Orleans. Again, February 1895. So yesterday's snowfall kind of tied that record in the southern part of Louisiana. Wanted to start off here looking at some of these actual air temperatures over the past couple of hours. This is a recent air temperature map of the northeastern states. Everything north and west of this particular line right here is below zero. So you go upstate Pennsylvania, throughout New York State, all the way throughout New England. We're seeing minus 15 northern Vermont, minus 11 up near Ithaca in south central New York State, and single digit temperatures all the way along the I-95 corridor region. I saw a report of about 2 or 3 degrees in Bethesda. We're seeing a 9 degrees here. This is the DC metro region. 3 degrees in western Chester County, just outside of Philly. 8 degrees in and around New York City. Very impressive cold indeed, with single-digit temperatures even in the big cities along the Mid-Atlantic I-95 corridor region. Now, take a look at this. This is from about 4:45 a.m. in the Gulf Coast region. This is Louisiana right here, and we're seeing single-digit temperatures. Again, this is following about 10 inches or so of snow across this region. This gray area right here represents below zero. If you take a look at this temperature scale right here, again, this is actual temperatures a couple of hours ago. It's about 4:45 a.m. and amazingly cold throughout Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and again, not only single-digit temperatures, but possibility of below zero temperatures right in this region here, again on top of significant snowfall. Here we go, just in the last hour or so. It's moderated a little bit. You don't see that below zero line, but still seeing some single-digit temperatures this morning in portions of southern Louisiana, and teens throughout the neighboring areas here. So quite amazing indeed. And again, this winter storm down in the south is kind of winding down now, still impacting the Carolina coastline, and that precipitation shield will move off to the east out over the open waters of the western Atlantic over the next couple of hours or so. Well, I kind of want to shift gears now and kind of look ahead here by using the Madden-Julian oscillation. It looks like there certainly will be more cold air outbreaks coming into the U.S. over the next couple of weeks. We're getting ready to wind down the month of January, move into February. Still have bitter cold hanging on for another couple of days here throughout the central and eastern states and the southern part of the nation as well. And then we'll kind of start to maybe go back and forth for a while. This is the Madden-Julian oscillation as it stands right now from a European, kind of an extended run of the European model here. We're right in this region right now, and it basically moves into the neutral zone here over the next couple of weeks. These are what we call different phases of the Madden-Julian oscillation. This kind of tracks a tropical disturbance that pushes along the tropical part of the globe on a regular basis, and depending on its particular location, or what we call phase, has an impact on temperatures and pressure patterns in other parts of the world. This time of the year, when the phase of the MJO is in 3 or 4, that's typically a warmer phase, warmer than normal phase for the central and eastern U.S. However, the fact that it goes towards this inner circle basically suggests kind of a neutral signal coming with respect to the MJO. And in other words, it is not as strong. So if it goes into this circle area here in the center of this kind of a plot, means it's not going to have that much of an impact as it would if it was farther away out in this part of this kind of a plot. So yes, it is moving through the warmer phases over the next a couple of weeks or so, but it's also weakening. So kind of suggests to me we will have kind of a back and forth pattern. Now, this particular run goes all the way out through much of February, and here we go. It goes back into this area right here as we head through the month of February, right into this area. Now, these phases are actually cold phases, and it intensifies again and moves away from this inner circle, so it moves to the colder phases in a stronger position here again as we move through much of February. So bottom line here, probably a back and forth type pattern with respect to cold air outbreaks over the next couple of weeks. Certainly will be some cold air intrusions continuing into the U.S. And then as we go through February, this is telling us that absolutely there will be additional cold air outbreaks going well into the month of February. So certainly this week is an extremely cold week across the nation, and it is not the end of winter by any means. Well, let's wrap up with going through the surface maps of last night's 0Z run of the GFS, a conventional version. Again, still have some winter conditions here hanging on along the Carolina coastline all the way down to southern Georgia, even northern Florida. Very, very cold temperatures in the wake of the snow across all this region. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, just incredible cold this morning, and of course bitter cold all the way up throughout the eastern states here. Now let's move forward here. That quickly moves off the coast by midday on Wednesday and just leaves behind that very, very cold conditions virtually from coast to coast. Not a heck of a lot going on in terms of storminess excuse me, over the next few days here. Probably the most important system to monitor as we move through the upcoming weekend will start to take shape here over the south central states during the second half of the upcoming weekend. Now, it tends to weaken at this point as it moves towards the Midwest here by early next week and then into the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, tends to weaken at this current point in time with respect to these computer forecast models. We'll have to monitor that. That is probably the next kind of a storm threat for the central and eastern states, the latter part of the upcoming weekend going into the early part of next week. You can see up north here a lot of cold air getting ready to pounce down on the northeastern part of the nation right here into the early part of next week. We'll go all the way out to Wednesday. This is a week from right now, and again, lots of cold air here across the northern U.S., southern part of Canada, moving on down. So certainly we'll still continue to have cold air outbreaks over the next couple of weeks, and as we saw with that MJO, likely to have some more cold air outbreaks well into the month of February. By the middle of next week, we'll have to monitor another potential system starting to develop all the way down there over the south central states. That's it for now. For ArcFieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.